Before the trial starts, Dave is talking to the judge. He says, "Judge, what does it look like? Do you think I need the kids to give evidence?" He says, "Yeah, if you can get the kids to give your evidence, they may have some relevance because right now you have no evidence on your side to stand on, and that's not a really good thing in a trial." So the kids are coming to court today. They're on the bus. They show up. They're waiting outside the courtroom, and the prosecutor starts asking Dave, tell me once again. You went to Las Vegas, right? And Dave says, yep. You brought $500,000 of chips to Las Vegas, right? He says, yep. You had them converted to cash in Las Vegas, right? He said, yep. What'd you do? Well, I bought some other chips. Did you do anything else between converting these chips to cash and buying the chips? Dave says, no. So you went all the way to Las Vegas to convert some poker chips to some other poker chips? Dave, you didn't do any gambling while you were there? Dave says, no. Okay, jury. Okay, here's what we got. This man over here is telling me he went to Las Vegas to change one-sided poker chips for another-sided poker chips. And they weren't even his poker chips, okay? Here's this piece of paper. It says, there's someone else's poker chips that he cashed out. He cashed out someone else's poker chips, had $500,000 in cash. And I'm supposed to believe this piece of paper that says the guy even gave him the poker chips and said it was okay to cash him out? I mean, it's just a piece of paper with like a signature on it. I mean, how are you supposed to believe him? And Dave says, you want me to call him? I can have him come today if you want. He says, you're going to call this guy with $100 million and tell him he can come to the courthouse and say it was his poker chips. Do you want me to call? I'll call. Hey, I'm here at the courthouse, and they're doubting that you actually signed this paper so I could cash the poker chips. And you can prove that to him? Like a video call or something? And the prosecutor goes, okay. Dave, the jig is up, okay, man? There's no way you changed poker chips for much. And why'd you change the poker chips? And Dave says, because I had some daycare kids and they like these poker chips instead of those poker chips. And the prosecutor's like, okay, you tell me there's a bunch of daycare kids that like one kind of poker chip and another kind, and you went to Las Vegas to change them. And Dave says, you want to bring the kids in? I mean, they're here. They can attest to that. He says, I'm gonna interview a bunch of daycare kids about poker chips. You tell me that's your defense. He says, yep. Okay, Judge, can I bring in the kids? Okay, let's bring the kids in. Okay, you're the kids in the daycare, right? Do you know over here? See the man over there? He's been accused of going to gambling in Las Vegas, and his defense is that you asked him to convert some poker chips. Does anybody here want to attest that they asked him to convert some poker chips? And the kids are just silent and stone-faced and just totally ignoring him. And the prosecutor says, see, Judge, this doesn't work. These kids, they can't talk. They're too young. And they says, I got a suggestion. Why don't the daycare lady talk to them and she'll answer the questions for you, okay? And the attorney says, fine. Daycare lady, can you please ask the questions for me? And the daycare lady sits down, and all the kids get all excited, and they look at her. And she says, hi, everybody. We're here to talk about the chips that man brought for you to play with, okay? Does everybody know the chips? Yeah, the chips used to count, and the prosecutor says, okay, ask them if they know about the chips. She says, okay, who here knows about the poker chips we used to do counting? And all the kids raise their hand. And she says, am I supposed to believe these kids know what they're talking about? Okay, she says, who here knows how to count to 10? Okay? How do we count to 10? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, who knows how to count by fives? And some kids raise their hand. How do we count to 5? 5, 10, 15. Okay, who here knows how to count by 25s? And then some 3 kids raise their hand. We can count by 25. We can count by 25. Let's show us, okay? Count by 25. And they go 25, 50, and they're leaning down as if counting poker chips. And 25, 50, 700. And the attorney's going, you're telling me that these kids actually asked Dave to exchange poker chips? And says, Bobby, did you ask the man over there to exchange the poker chips? And Bobby said, yeah, we had the blue ones and the red, but we only like the black ones because, remember how Bobby, I sort of spit up on some and they smelled a little bit, so we like the black ones better, and we asked him to change the poker chips. And the judge was like, kids, attorney, do you know, they're saying that they asked him to exchange the poker. Okay, did you get back? Yeah, we bought the new poker chips back and we play with those instead. And the judge is like, attorney, can you see me for a second? So, just so we're on the same page, your whole case is based upon the presumption that Dave did not go to Vegas to exchange poker chips. And I've got a room full of daycare kids who are telling me how they learned to count with poker chips and how they asked Dave to exchange poker chips for black ones. They explicitly asked him to exchange poker chips, and then he exchanged them. And your case is, that's preposterous. No kids would ever ask Dave. It's preposterous he would ever exchange them. And he's got kids saying in this courthouse, that's what they did. And they're saying in this courthouse, he brought back the black ones. And your case is, his explanation is preposterous. I'm sort of thinking maybe you want to drop this case right now because your case isn't looking very good anymore, okay? You've got a lot of kids now. Granted, they're young, but they're all saying exactly the same thing. And they're demonstrating counting by 25s. Your preposterous case doesn't look preposterous anymore. You want to withdraw your case? And the defense attorney is like, can we have a mistrial maybe, Judge? And the judge is like, Mr. MLB, do you want to withdraw your case? And the MLB attorney is realizing he's not going to win. So he says, okay, yes, Your Honor, I'd like to withdraw my case. And one of the kids just like, yay! And she's walking away, and the kids are all dancing and excited. And Dave is like, phew. And so after the case, the people are all sitting in the middle of the court. And it turns out that all of the court employees, the judge, the bailiff, people who work at the court organization are all talking to the woman in white shirt, black pants, because it turns out she used to work there. She used to be a judge in this courthouse, and they all really, really miss her. But she got married, so she couldn't be a judge anymore. And the kids are all sitting around with the daycare lady. Go, okay, it's pretty late. We're gonna go and stop and get some pizza. And the kids go, yay, pizza! Okay, we're gonna get back on the bus and go have lunch. Okay, and then we're gonna go back to the daycare. Okay, let's go. Bye. And the judge is like, okay, we're done here. And Dave's vindicated.